morning and welcome to this first edition of Tourismus Namibia for 2022. Allow me to also wish you a prosperous new year because we obviously haven't seen each other for something like a month almost. Hope you had a good holiday. I certainly had one. I visited places in Namibia. Hope you did the same. So we're obviously doing what we always do. My name is Frank Steffen. Allgemeine Zeitung is where I work as the editor. But then I'm obviously also in charge of Tourismus Namibia, and that's really what we would like to do. Show you around the country, introduce you to topics which are relevant right now. And so I hope you enjoy this first show of 2022. Up first, we obviously have topics. Yes, our topics, and we'll dive into it right away. Lions, you know that we always talk about them. This photo here was made for Rafiki Extreme Safaris by Inky Munt. Most of you will remember that we've often shown her photos and also spoken about her. She and Isaac Smith are intensely involved in the conservation efforts around DELRA, which is the Desert Lions Human Relations Aid. And this week, obviously, we don't show that photo, but it was sad that when it was reported that up in the north, where these lions are really in dire straits already, suddenly a lioness was shot, believe it or not, because she had hunted and killed a zebra. Now, I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, we've been reporting about it. All types of people are running around with initiatives and assistance and all types of help, trying to make sure that our desert-adapted lions will survive this extreme drought in the northwest of our country. And next you have somebody who's killing a lion for hunting. I mean, this must surely be the one thing that these animals should be allowed to do. I mean, I have no problem when somebody tells me I had to kill them because they were continuously hunting my goats or sheep or whatever. Cattle for that matter, but I mean to hunt a zebra and then kill a lion because it did it, this must be the most ridiculous excuse I've ever heard for a shameful act such as that. Right, and now I've got another theme here which is better news. It's about Reginald Amukoshi Mvula. Now this guy wouldn't be known to most of you, but I just decided to hell with it, whether it's tourism related or not. I thought this was great to read this week that in Walfish Bay, well, Walfish Bay born Mvula was one of the directors of the Walt Disney animated film Encanto, which won the Golden Globe Award for Best Animated Feature in America early on Monday morning. So Mvula not only worked as a technical director on the award-winning film Encanto, but also on the animated film Raja and the Last Dragon, which was also nominated for a Golden Globe. So I think this is just great. And when we've got people such as Reginald, I just feel we need to brag about it. We should. Well done to him and obviously his colleagues. But it's nice to see that Namibians are also moving the world. Right, and then up next, often we've spoken about the Giraffe Conservation Foundation. And so what they did late in December, actually just before Christmas, they came out with some interesting news and they said, finally some good news. Giraffe are still in trouble, but there is hope as giraffe numbers throughout Africa are showing a positive upwards trend. And that really is good to hear. So 2021 was another year that was largely defined by the COVID-19 pandemic. This is what they wrote on the internet site, and a media landscape that bombarded us with negative stories. However, we at GCF are excited to end the year on a positive note. Our latest estimate, based on numbers collated from all over Africa, stands at just over 117,000 giraffe in the wild, an increase of almost 20% since 2015. So they reckon while this is still a precariously low number, particularly when compared to African elephant, there's only one giraffe for every 3 to 4 elephants in Africa. They do, however, see encouraging signs. So the iconic giraffe in their habitat remains under a high level of conservation threat, not so much in Namibia, but in Africa in general. So in 2016, giraffe as a single species were categorized as vulnerable by the International Union for the Conservation of Nature. So it's the IUCN's Red List, which we've often spoken about. And following the analysis of the IUCN Species Survival Commission, according to them, giraffe and okapi, with a significant input from GCF, they have discovered that giraffe are really under threat. And we've spoken about it a lot on this program, so hopefully the Namibian effort will be seen and copied in other African states, because obviously giraffe, just as any other animal, should be part of what our children grow up with. So it's our responsibility to make sure that they're still around. Those were our topics for today. So up next, we've got destinations. Right, you can clearly see, and I will put some pressure on ourselves by saying this now. We've always had these three segments: topics, destinations, and to the point. In due course, we would like to add another segment which will specialize a bit on off-roading and vehicle kitting and whatever. So in the near future, we will start with that segment as well. But in the meantime, we've got destinations, and first up, we'll talk about Agama River Camp. Now here you can see it's right on top. I indicated it on the map there. And this is the road that leads from Solitaire downwards south, past the Sossusvlei and Sesriem turnoffs. So if you would look at it, Agama is almost halfway between Solitaire and the turnoff to Sossus. It's right next to the road, so it's an ideal stopover and a very nice place to visit. So it was started by Jonathan and Monique Leach and developed into a wonderful oasis. They started with a simple group of campsites, and I remember distinctly it was just a very small thing in the beginning, which included well-decorated and spotlessly clean pollution blocks, partly open to the skies. So they then added over time 10 rustic style chalets with modern amenities and comforts inside. And the main building incorporates a cozy bar, friendly restaurant, and serves excellent meals and a large viewing deck for sunsets, which you can clearly see here on the photos. So Agama River Camp has recently been converted to offer accommodation in comfortable and spacious chalets as well. So both the standard chalet and deluxe chalet are freestanding and thus ensures privacy for you. All chalets have the option of sleeping on the roof. This is truly nice. This offers our guests the opportunity to spend a night under a starry Namib desert sky, and is it not starry in those areas? And be used as an elevated vantage point from which to watch the colors change on the Namib Naukluft Mountains when the sun bids farewell to another day. So to reflect this change from campsite to a lodge, the name has changed to Agama Lodge. So yes, here you can clearly see a very, very nice place to go and visit, and I would recommend that you actually stop there.
Agama Lodge is the perfect place to spend a few nights necessary to fully appreciate Sossusvlei.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Zamudio, and this is why Agama Lodge needs to be your holiday and breakaway destination of choice.
Arriving at Agama in the mid to late afternoon, you'll be invited to enjoy a complimentary cordial alongside the infinity pool with its stunning vistas over the magnificent Naukluft mountain range. Once refreshed, you'll be escorted to your private quarters, which include Wi-Fi and air conditioning, a spacious bathroom, a comfortable mattress with the softest, most luxurious linens to match. Every room, from standard to deluxe, has the option of setting up a sky bed on the roof, whether just for an intimate sundowner experience with hors d'oeuvres and champagne, or for sleeping out in the open under the stars. As the blues of the evening sky replace the oranges and yellows, dinner is served. An extensive buffet offering fresh vegetables and salads accompanied by your choice of barbecued meat. You can choose to eat on the veranda or steeped in African ambience under the thatched roof of the dining gallery while you decide which activities you would like to opt for the following day. Or maybe you decide on a bit of a lie-in, followed by a relaxed breakfast on the veranda, in which case you can graze at leisure from the fantastic variety of fresh fruit, homemade breads, meat and cheese boards, sweet pastries, and of course, bacon and eggs, and a good espresso awaits you. After your early start to the day, you have the option of returning to Agama to snooze by the infinity pool and enjoy a delicious lunch before setting out back to Sossusvlei in the afternoon to catch the Sossusvlei sunset experience. Don't be surprised if one of the neighboring families wander past. Warthog babies can be particularly inquisitive. Visiting Sossusvlei, the top destination in Namibia, is a magical African experience in itself, and that warrants a magical accommodation experience too.
Our dedicated staff are waiting to welcome you. Turn your holiday into an experience of a lifetime. Make your reservation today.
Yeah, well, if you've seen that and you still don't feel like going there, then I suppose you've got very, very high standards, because this one must be one of the more impressive places I've seen for a long time. Thank you to Tanya Bowser, my colleague who organized that for us. And then, Steffi Balzer, she left for Germany, unfortunately, so she's left the Allgemeine Zeitung, but she still left me one last video. And so she introduces us to Hotel zum Kaiser. Now, obviously, we know that German history is still very deeply entrenched in Namibia, especially in the town of Swakopmund. So you've got the Hotel zum Kaiser, which is right like it's a stone's throw almost away from the beach. And so perfectly positioned in the picturesque Swakopmund, this luxurious hotel, some Kaiser, offers direct access to the beach and the town's vibrant street life, because it really is in the middle of the town. So it's got this quaint architecture, as you can see from the photo there, and it offers fine shopping and fine dining. Being within walking distance from the beachfront and city centre makes this the ideal haven for those that enjoy being independent explorers on foot. So this is what they write on the internet page. So you have easy access to the famous tug, which is just on, like I said, a stone's throw, and the jetty restaurants, and as well as the aquarium, craft markets and shopping outlets. So it's tastefully decorated, and it offers courtyard suites, front-facing suites, and also 3 family rooms with interleading doors, which I think sometimes is quite important for families who want to go down there. Gone down to Swakop, that is. And so each of the front-facing suites are equipped with private balcony to enjoy splendid views of the historic town and partial views of the nearby Atlantic seaboard, which you could clearly see on some of the photos that we've presented there. So on their internet site, they invite you. They say, enjoy delectable cuisine at the on-site bistro at some Kaiser, and some sundowners whilst experience the spectacular sunsets over the Atlantic from the hotel's idyllic rooftop terrace, and uniquely combining modern furnishings with a touch of classic elegance. The Hotel Some Kaiser creates a truly authentic and intimate ambience, perfect for all those more at ease and small personal establishments. And she's prepared this little video for us just to show you that the photos on stage, this is really what you see. It's always the old story, just accept please that our journalists, when they prepare these videos for us, these are not professional filmmakers. They're just trying to give you a quick impression of what there is and what you can expect, just to show that the photos are obviously nice to see, but video is the proof that our journalist has been able to actually witness what is to be seen. So it's clearly right up front, and there in the background you can obviously see the beach and the sea. Very nice to go to. Yeah, and that was our Hotel Some Kaiser. So those are 2 destinations for this week. Up next week, we've got some more, and as the year goes on, we'll introduce you to more destinations. And what I'll do is something that I started doing towards the end of the year. Those of you who watch the show regularly, I'll be trying to reintroduce a couple of routes to you. Because I often say, you know, the travel experience, that already in itself is so nice. It's not only about where you want to stay or can stay, it's also about seeing the scenery along the way, and then obviously also visiting a few places just on a quick visit while you're going up or down, depending on where you're going. So those were our destinations today. Up next, we've got To The Point. Yeah, To The Point. And this week we've got something different, which I thought is nice to have a look at. Miss Claudine Cloete is a senior conservation scientist at the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism. That's obviously MEFT. She's one of those smart people in Namibia who just keeps improving on her environment and things that go on around her. So her area of expertise is managing landscapes for nature and people, with a focus on advanced knowledge, learning, innovation and technology. And she has been a speaker on the World Conservation Congress, that's IUCN, and now tells us what she has started doing in order to preserve existing knowledge and then also keep track of research material and that sort of thing. So this might be of interest to you.
Wealth of knowledge, yeah. A lot of stuff paper-based still. The knowledge that we generate by monitoring, getting the information in, that's on a database that is, it's accessible to us currently, but anybody who is working on something, for instance rainfall data that we collect annually, as well as from so we've got seasonal rain gauges out in the park, or over 160 something rain gauges, but then we also collect from the stations that we have on a database. So if anybody's interested in that data, they can approach us, we give it out, depending on what they use it for, obviously. But then we've started with the process, especially now with the carnivore project. We wanted to see what has been done on carnivores in Etosha and the surroundings since, historic times. And these were all paper-based reports conducted or compiled internally by park managers, by scientists in the past. So we've now digitized that, and that we've given to the EIS, and it should be up soon. I haven't checked recently, but it should be up already. So we're trying to make all the information that we have here that's on paper, locked up in cabinets and so on, we're trying to make that easily available to the wider community. But obviously, if there are people out there who are interested in conducting research in the Etosha environment, we are open to emails and whatnot, and they can always request certain things if we are easily able to extract the information that they need. SMART stands for Spatial Monitoring and Reporting Tool. So it's basically an easier way of collecting data, whether it's normal patrol data or whether you use it for surveys and so on. In the past we used to have everything paper-based, but that was really tedious and too much work. A lot of data, valuable data, had been collected, but it hasn't been analyzed at all. I don't know where those books are currently. But so in 2016, SMART was first piloted in Etosha, just in Okakoyo, and in the Kunene with SRT, just to see whether it will work here, does it meet our needs and so on. 2018-19 we rolled it out across the park, and in 2019 we piloted it in Mudumu National Park. 2020 we rolled it out to the entire northeastern parks, and this year it was established in Waterberg. So what SMART does is, the database is entirely your own. You have it for your specific needs. You will say what you want to monitor, whether it's your priority species. For us, of course, it's our lion, elephant, rhino. You can record your mortalities, but the main thing is you'll be able to easily visualize where your teams went out, how much did they cover per month, per quarter, per year. It has an inbuilt reporting function. So no more do the rangers have to sit and write long reports and not actually know where they've been or what they've done. So because of that, it's at a click of a button. Your report is generated with maps, with figures, with tables, everything that the managers need. That is then sent out, going further. The idea is to have all national parks using this system, and then having a unit at head office that can easily extract the information and generate this big report that monthly has to go to the director and then further up. So it really is to simplify the rangers' work, the people actually collecting the data, simplifying the warden's work, compiling these reports at the stations, and then further up. SMART is not only for Namibia, or specific to Namibia. Currently, I think almost 1,000 sites worldwide, of which about 17, 18 countries have a national mandate for it. Namibia is one of those countries that has a national mandate for SMART because it's written in our guidelines for monitoring in protected areas. So it's really an incredibly powerful tool. It's free of charge. Training and support is also free. It's for the next, I think, 30 or so, 30 to 50 years, I think it's going to be free. It's 9 NGOs that have really dedicated themselves for this to work, helping improve conservation and management of protected areas. The initial setup of the database and all of it, that's a bit technical, so you really need intense training. But for rangers collecting data, I think we've spent in the northeastern parks maybe 3 to 4 days with rangers actively going on patrols and showing them how to collect the data. I think one of the oldest people that I've trained was 58 from Mangeti, 58 or 59, and he caught onto it. He said he doesn't speak English, it's only Afrikaans or Rukwangali, but this was in English and he got it. It really is user-friendly. There's now a newer version of it, Smart Mobile, that has icons, and I think even for illiterate people, entering the data just by pressing, that's a picture of an elephant, yes, I'm seeing 5 of them. It's very easy. For the database part of it, you really need somebody who's computer literate, but the training there is also not, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to be able to run the database. We actually have an assistant ranger in Mudumu who's running SMART, not the warden, not the ranger, an assistant ranger who's using it. And for the system to work as a whole, you really need champions. So in each park we have got a person who's really spearheading it and driving it, just so that everybody feels motivated, and you've got that person behind you asking, did you take your device? I need to download.
Right, that was Claudine Cloete of the MEFT for you. As you could see, it was a video by the MEFT. I just find it, or I enjoy the fact that slowly but surely Namibia has come to realize that history starts now. You need to record your stuff, you need to make sure it's available, because we somehow always seem to live in the past without realizing that today's happenings will be part of history in another 30, 40 years' time. So it's important to collate the stuff and keep it available. And I think she's great at attempting to do that, even if it still will take time to get all the stuff together of the past. It's fine, but you need to start somewhere. So I wish her well in her endeavors on that score. This brings us to the end of this show. And by the way, these shows are obviously available on our internet channel 1 up 2. That's a single digit 1 and up and 2, the digit again. 1 up 2, where you can watch all the shows that we've got available by Namibia Media Holdings. And we're delighted to be live on one of the DSTV channels one of these days. So look out for these shows where we bring you not only this show, but every single show that Namibia Media Holdings is preparing throughout the day. We're talking of Klets Kompas, Evening Review, there are many more. So NMH at 1, the news show where we bring you news. So it's all about interesting news, marketing news as well. And then obviously also how to keep your children busy and even educate them from home. And you can even remain fit. So have a look at that show, or just simply go to 1 up 2. Have a look at it. I think you might be interested in a couple of those shows. If you click on echoes, you can always go back on previous shows, including Tourismus Namibia. So it's quite a nice thing to have around. Anyway, that's the end of our show today. I hope you enjoyed it. I wish you a pleasant Sunday afternoon still, and hope you've got a good week ahead of you. Until next week, remain healthy, look after yourself. Bye.